My name is Jordan Redfield Wade. By day, I'm a PI working for the NACPD. But by night, my friends, my family, and I fight for the city in a different way. We are the guardians of Newark City. I promised my mother as she lay dying that I would protect and defend this city from anyone that would mean to cause it harm. I am a protector. I am a guardian. I am Red Wing. Episode 11. Weight of the World. The moon was overhead, and though it was no longer full, it was still as red as the previous night's blood moon. 4 guys were in an alley, 2 sellers and 2 buyers. The 2 tweakers were buying the hard stuff, and buying in a quantity that would have killed any newer addict. They'd been using for years, and these sellers knew they'd do just about anything to get their fix. What they didn't realize was that they were being watched, and that they were being judged.
I'll never understand why mortals behave this way. It's so low class.
Screw you. Get lost, lady.
Sehkmet glared and was on him in a flash, drawing her gold nails across his neck, slicing his throat. The dealer fell to the ground. She licked her fingernails, tasting the blood.
Strangely sweet. Who'd have thought? Now to sample the rest of you. How I've missed this.
Stand down, Scarlet.
Ooh, a young member of the Morgan. A fellow war god. Tell me, do they still pray to you?
You know who I am?
A cat can always sense when a little bird is nearby. A lioness can always sense its prey.
Scarlet, let me go.
Scarlet is dead, little raven. My name is Sehkmet, goddess of blood, punisher of the guilty and the damned. And you... I sense such delicious darkness in you. You're not as good as everyone thinks you are. The citizens of this city adore you, but would they if they knew they were putting their faith in someone so flawed?
Get out of my friend.
Oh, there's only one way I'll be leaving this body, and the price for that is something you just aren't willing to pay. You would rather let the entire world die than to give up the one thing that could save you. What would your friends think if they knew? I shall just kill you now, so they will never have to know that you'll die a martyr.
Stand down, kitten.
You shall not kill him. That is not what you want.
Ah, the old Trinity. Fine, I shall leave him for now. But just know, little raven, that I will get you, and I will enjoy feeding on you.
Let's go, Jordan. We cannot stay here.
We will defeat her, but this is not the way. This is not how it was foretold.
Fine. Let's just go.
See you soon, little raven.
I had just arrived in the Corvus room. I was checking in the reflection of the glass cases. I saw there were claw marks on my neck where Sehkmet had gotten to me. Dean was right behind me, and his parents were up next to Joanna in front of the computer. Joanna was despondent, looking sadder than I'd ever seen her before. I think she felt guilty. like she was the reason we had lost Scarlet. But it wasn't her fault. How could it be? We couldn't have prepared for the enormity of what we were dealing with. Scarlet made the same choice I would have made, and I would never fault her for that.
I thought I had to see if even a part of her was still in there, and see if there was any weakness we could exploit to defeat her.
And? Well, what did you find?
That she... Well, I don't know if she's in there or not. I think she is. I hope she is. But I didn't see anything we could use to defeat her.
So you risked your life for nothing. You could have died, Jay.
I can't just let the world end, Dean. I refuse to do that. There has to be a way to defeat her.
There is, but you won't like it.
What?
Dean, I think it's time you told him what your father told you.
Dean, what did Cedric tell you?
He told me that the prophecy doesn't end with Sehkmet ending the world. You remember when he told us that the warriors exist to protect the mortals from the wrath of the gods? This is what he meant. The way they defeated Sehkmet before, legend has it, was by getting her drunk off of the strongest wine known to the world. Well, that isn't exactly true. They did give her something, but it wasn't wine. They gave her the king of the warriors at that time. The essence of another war god is the only thing that can separate her from Scarlet's body without killing her.
Dean, you cannot be serious.
I am very serious. The only way to stop Sehkmet is for her to absorb my life force. I will have to die.
Well, that's just not an option then.
Jay.
No, I'm sorry. I won't just let you die.
That's not your choice to make.
I think I should have a say in whether or not my husband sacrifices himself to a goddess.
This is the only way to save the world.
Fuck the world. A world without you would be
God damn it, Jordan, stop! This is what I have to do. It is my responsibility and my job to protect this city, to protect the world, to protect you. I'm going to do this, and you cannot stop me.
I may not be able to change your mind, but I can stop this. I can fix this.
Jordan, no, you can't.
Losing you is not worth it.
Jordan, you said it yourself. Scarlet is family, just like you and me. I'm going to save her, and save all of you. That's how it has to be.
There is always another way. I will find it. The world doesn't just get to take you from me. I will not allow it. In fact, I have an idea. Just wait for me. Please.
Fine. What are you going to do?
I'm calling in a Hail Mary. The last place I'd ever turn to for help.
Somewhere, off the coast of a remote island in the South Pacific, a woman was sunbathing on a beach. She was wearing a light scarf over a black bikini. Her gray hair was hidden under a large sun hat, and her eyes were hidden by big, round sunglasses. Her straw hut was nearby, far enough from the locals that they wouldn't bother her, unless they truly needed something from the local Kai Hokoma. They called her Matan Gata Ke, the White Stranger. She'd been there for about 8 months, half a world away from where she had once lived, where she had once called home, half a world from where her husband had met his end as a victim of his own greed. She didn't think much of that time. At least, she hadn't thought about it until a shadow blocked her sun. She opened her eyes, smirked and removed her sunglasses.
So, you found me.
Oh, I've known you were here for a few months.
For months, huh? How?
When Joanna punched you, she put a tiny bit of her power into you. Just a little spark of her in you. She tracked you after you disappeared, until you put up wards around this island. So when I arrived here, and the natives were talking about a white-skinned witch on the other side of the island, I knew exactly where I'd find you. Doesn't take a detective to find a white woman surrounded by a bunch of island folk.
My, oh my, how positively super spy of you. Do you want a cookie for finding me?
No. I need something else.
What is your request?
I need to learn how to kill a god without killing the human they inhabit. Care to tell me what you find so amusing about that?
That you think I'd ever know that? Why would you ever need to know something like that? Unless... Ah, yes. I see it now. That old prophecy was true then. Well, then... I always knew that little bitch was too powerful to be human. But what a choice you have to make. Terminate a close friend to save the world, or condemn the whole world just to save your husband.
Watch it.
Well, unfortunately for you, I don't know how to defeat a god, not without killing your friend. But I can give you knowledge of every spell I've encountered, including ones I could never perform.
Couldn't perform?
I have limits, just like others do. I require energy for my magic, just like others do. All about working smarter, not harder.
Fair enough. So you'd give me that knowledge?
Not so fast, Jordan. What's in it for me?
Are you serious? Well, for starters, the world ending means that you die too.
That'd be a long way out. Plus, she'll be stopped whether I help you or not. Dean won't let it happen. So I ask you again, what's in it for me?
What do you want from me?
I want to never see you again. I want to live here in solitude. So I'll help you if you and your entire team forget my location and indeed forget about me entirely.
Done. I can grant you that. I swear on my parents' grave to honor our agreement.
Fine. When you take my hand, the knowledge will be passed into your brain. It might hurt a little bit, but I think you'll find part of it invaluable. Oh, and Jordan?
Yes?
Be careful with this kind of magic. There is always a cost. And sometimes that cost isn't physical energy. Sometimes it's much, much more personal. Are you certain you wish to do this?
I'm certain.
Take my hand.
I took her hand, and I immediately felt a fire in my mind. The overflow of information made me cry out in pain and strain. I tried to hold it together, but I just couldn't. And I blacked out. I woke up back in the Corvus room. I guess she had sent me back here from... Well, I don't quite remember where. Come to think of it, I don't really remember who I saw. But, well, I was home. I felt a little more assured of myself than I did before. I looked around the room. Kieran was there, but everyone else had gone.
Thank God you're awake. We have to go. They left.
What do you mean? Where is everybody?
After you left, Joanna hopped on a motorcycle and left. She's going to Sehkmet's lair.
Christ almighty. And where is Dean?
He went after her. Everyone went. Marilyn, the warriors, everyone. They told me to wait for you, though. He told me to tell you he was sorry, but it was the only way.
Fuck. Okay, we have to go.
I tracked them to this warehouse.
Birdkeeper, can you pull up a live feed?
Certainly. Here is the warehouse in question.
All right, Key. Grab onto me. Let's go. Sehkmet sat atop her throne, as her minions brought criminals to her for their execution. She sampled their blood as she killed them, like a regular person would taste wine. Joanna came running into the room.
Scarlet, stop!
Why do you continue to call me that? That is not my name anymore.
The Scarlet I fell in love with is still in there, I just know it.
Maybe she is, but she sure as hell isn't steering the ship.
Why are you doing this?
Because it's fun.
Please, just let her go.
Joanna, no! Step back before she kills you.
Ooh, just the man I knew would come. Hello, Warrior King.
Leave Joanna alone. It's me you want.
My liege.
Stand down, Amari. This is the way it has to be.
How delicious. That sounds wonderful.
Dean, stop!
Jordan, I'm glad you could make it.
Please, please, Dean. Don't go. Please don't leave me.
Jordan, I have to do this. But before I go, I wanted to say this.
Please. Please. Dean, please.
Ever since the first moment I laid eyes on you, I knew I loved you. That has never once wavered. We make a hell of a team. Marrying you was the best moment of my life. I know our vows say till death do us part, but not even death could stop me from loving you. True love never dies. I'll always be with you. I love you, Jordan.
I love you too, Dean. This isn't fair.
Take care of the warriors for me. And take care of Clover.
I will.
I'll see you again, Jordan.
Dean. Dean turned away. Everything began to move in slow motion. I dropped to my knees, my breath catching in my chest, powerless to save the love of my life from the fate that I knew would befall him. He walked to Sehkmet, but not before looking at Kieran.
You know what to do, Key. Catch you later.
A single tear crept down Kieran's cheek. He brushed it off and his eyes began to glow, preparing to use his powers. Dean continued to walk towards the throne. Sehkmet stood, staring him down like a lioness would stare down their foe. When he was in front of her, he dropped to one knee and looked up at her. His green eyes were resolute, his face a mask of determination. I couldn't breathe, but I wanted to scream.
Drink of me, Sehkmet, and may your bloodlust be appeased.
He took a knife from his belt, sliced the palm of his hand open, and held it up to her. She took his hand and put it to her lips. I wanted to turn away from the ritual. I wanted to vomit, but I couldn't look away. She grabbed his face and pulled him closer to her. She opened her mouth and I saw the life force begin to flow from Dean into this creature called Sehkmet. They rose into the air during this part. We all looked on in horror as we watched this happen. I was heartbroken and horrified. This is the point where I realized I was screaming Dean's name. I turned from sorrow to rage and back to sorrow. Why did it have to be Dean? How was this fair? I could feel a piece of me dying. I ran forward till I was just underneath them. When every last bit of life force was drained from Dean, and there was no more breath for him to draw, she just let him go. He fell. I caught him in my arms, the dead weight of Dean's lifeless body pulling me to the ground. All I could do was look at his face. Had I looked up, I would have seen Sehkmet separate from Scarlet's body. The Scarlet we loved fell to the ground unconscious. Joanna ran to her, holding her in her arms. The ghostly form of Sehkmet hovered in the air for a moment, until Kieran opened up a portal to the spirit realm, which sucked her in. And just like that, the goddess of death and destruction was no more. All the attention now went to me, with Dean in my arms.
Dean? Dean? No, Dean, please. Please come back, please. Please, I love you. Please come back. Please come back.
The cultists that were in the room were silent, shocked by what they had just witnessed. Their avenging goddess had been destroyed. Their worldview was rocked. And honestly, it was about to get rocked even further. Thank you for listening to Red Wing. Today's episode was written by J.V. Hampton-VanSant. This episode you heard the voice talents of J.V. Hampton-VanSant, Elie Hirshman, Andrew Keyerra, Amanda Jacobson, Skyler Paring, Christine Osimo, Keyerra Jeter, Katy Dixon, Georgie Yukiko Donovan, Jordan Cobb, and Katy Hearne-Church, reprising her role as Enchantress. For the complete cast list, please visit redwingpodcast.com. The title this week is based on the song Weight of the World by Evanescence. This has been one of my favorite songs since about 2005, and you'll find a link to this song in the show notes. Episode art this week is by Kelsey Crawford. Our music is composed by Nico of We Talk of Dreams. If you want to listen to any of these themes, please visit our website. Check out our show notes for links to our merch, our social media, and our website. As always, stay safe and fly high, heroes.